Sino ho ba talaga ang eligible dito sa Akap? Kasi iba ho yung tinatawag na minimum wage at iba ho yung tinatawag na livable wage, hindi ho ba? I'm gonna start. Opo, Kong Isidre, I'll start with you, no? So, let's give a little bit of background on Akap. Ayuda para sa Kapos ang Kita program. It had a budget of about 26.7 billion pesos in 2024. Ito pong taon na to, no? And I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, sir, that this is the brainchild of Speaker Martin Romualdez. Is this true, sir?
Yes, it was actually basically a result of our consultation and also a result of kasi nangyari po yan, we've always had these programs for the poorest in our community, di ba? Meron tayong 4Ps, meron tayong AICs for indigents. But it has come to our attention that a good number of what we call the near poor o yung mga lower middle class have no access to similar initiatives. And we find it that it would be more responsive to have safety nets for the near poor rather than to risk having them slide down back to poverty. Ito yung mga kumikita naman, meron namang trabaho, pero pag may sakuna, may nagkasakit, may problema, o di kaya katulad sa panahon ngayon, panahon ng inflation, atas ang inflation, nag-slide back to below poverty or poverty lines. So I think it was a more of a proactive response in line also with making sure that we have a more inclusive approach to poverty reduction.
Opo. So ito po yung nasa parang taas ng 4Ps. Parang
Yes
ganun
po. Yes
Okay.
po. It was designed to be like that po.
Opo. Sino ho ang makakatanggap nito, Congressman?
Well, it's
Who are eligible?
the nature of the program is very the beneficiaries are very straightforward with the name pa lang, Kapos sa Kita. So suppose it is intended for those who are employed or those who have a business or a source of income, but it falls below them either minimum wage or they're facing certain difficulties and challenges katulad ng sector na it proves na yung condition nila is ang income nila would not be responsive to their condition.
Let me clarify, sir, now before I go to Kong Castro. You said those who earn below minimum, tama ho ba? Because I thought it was for those who were earning 21,000 and below?
Yes, sa guidelines po yun.
So who are eligible, sir?
May guidelines po tayo sa DSWD. Based po 'yon sa of course the minimum wage and also the particular circumstances ng beneficiary.
It's good that mapag-usapan po natin who are eligible. Kong Franz, are you opposed to this? Itong Akap po? Do you not think this is a good idea?
Well, una-una, due respect sa ating kasamahan, si Kong Jude, kami sa Makabayan, hindi namin talaga alam ito. Kasi hindi ito napapag-usapan during the hearing ng budget ng DSWD. Like for example, this 2024, parang tama ba na bigla nga rin ng DSWD na merong ganitong programa at ginawa na lang nila ng guidelines. So, hindi naman kami opposed doon sa pag-aayuda o pagtulong sa ating mga kapos o katulad ng sinabi ni Kong Isidre, yung Kapos ang Kita.
Opo.
Actually, sa ibang mga bansa, may mga ganyang programa.
Opo.
Yung mga, halimbawa, yung mga nagtatrabaho lang ng 4 na araw sa isang linggo. So, yung isang araw, pinoprovide yun ng government. So, yun ang naisip namin na purpose ng Akap.
So, okay kayo. Ang problema ho ba ay, in-insert ho ba ito? O wala kayong parte dito? Hindi kayo bahagi nito?
Well, hindi kami nakibahagi dyan this year. No, hindi kami talaga, kasi hindi namin alam yung purpose nitong programa na ito.
Okay.
Kasi in-insert yan sa Bicam at nung 2024 at hindi malinaw sa amin yung guidelines.
Okay. All right. Kong Jude, was it inserted?
the introduction of the for the Akap for this year, no, was made at the bicameral conference as well.
okay.
But of course, there were discussions prior to that. Maybe not through the formal process sa Kongreso, but the need has always been there. In fact, ako personally, on many occasions, I've talked about really helping the near poor.
I don't think really it's a question, sir.
Alam mo naman yung pag-widen ng middle class.
Opo, opo. Sorry, I
Yes po.
think may delay po tayo, no? I don't think it's really a question of helping because marami ho talagang nangangailangan. And in fact, if it's good to find out sino ho ba talaga ang eligible dito sa AKAP. Kasi iba ho yung tinatawag na minimum wage at iba ho yung tinatawag na livable wage, hindi ho ba? And from the research I've seen, Kong Jude, this is really also, this cushions inflation. Parang ito po ay ina-absorb yung nangyayaring
Yes.
inflation po taon-taon. So, while the purpose and the motivation is good, I'll still ask this question. Was this inserted in the Bicam?
Yes, the funding for the Akap was inserted in the Bicam. That is true po.
Okay. Bakit ho hindi kaya nasama during the hearings with the DSWD when this was being discussed? At least the budget of the DSWD, sir. Was this late? What was it thought of
Well,
late?
even before the, I wasn't part of the BICAM at that year last year, no. But at least on my personal knowledge, I can attest that even prior to that, we've already had talks with the SWD, with the introduction of a mechanism to help the near poor. I think it was because the idea was introduced late. Iyon yung hindi ko na alam yung details, no. Pero yung usapin tungkol sa pag-introduce ng isang mekanismo to help the near poor has been there. I think by the time that Secretary Rex assumed office.
Okay. Kong Franz, because nandyan din po siya, hindi ho ba, sa 2025 budget, is this next year, is this something you would like to avail of? And because the question here is, paano ho ba nasama ang Kongreso dito?
Yes, ito na naman, na-insert na naman ito. Diba, in-insert na ng 2024 budget. Sana nag-correct naman ang siguro kung sa Kongreso mismo, nag-correct. Dapat in-introduce din ito during the discussion. 'Di ba, para malinaw yung guidelines. Kasi baka magiging nakikita nga namin doon sa guidelines ng AKAP, parang redundant ito doon sa AIX. Kasi nagbibigay na tayo ng ayuda para doon sa mga emergency situation.
Yung pong AIX.
Like yung medical, like yung sa educational, burial, etc. Pero itong AKAP, kung titignan ko lang yung pangalan at tulong sa mga kapos ang kita. So, I'm assuming na pantulong ito doon sa mga below or lower middle class, no, na pantulong doon sa kanilang kita, kapos sa kita. Pero parang nagiging one time, big time lang ito na ipinamimigay. During the implementation, nakikita namin. So, wala tayong problema doon. Pero kailangan lang maging defined, maging specific
Dahil
sino talaga yung
nagiging
tutulungan.
redundant.
Nagiging
Okay.
redundant siya.
I'm sure the people here want to know who are eligible dito sa AKAP. Kong Jude, do you know who's eligible dito po sa AKAP?
Well, based on the guidelines, no, if qualified talaga sa AKAP, you have to fall under what we call the low-income category. So, it should not exist the statutory minimum wage in the area where you are, where the individual is residing. So, para po mapatunayan po ito, kailangan po may mga documents na pinapakita para hindi ho siya nag-overlap doon naman sa beneficiaries ng iba nating social amelioration programs.
Kong Jude, sorry, no? Could you repeat that? Tagalogin po natin. Kung kayo ay tumatanggap ng above
Yung
minimum
wage, yung minimum wage sa lugar po kasi 'di ba
Iba-iba.
na ang minimum wage natin sa buong bansa, every region. So your income should not exceed the statutory minimum wage po sa lugar na 'yon.
Nakakalito ko kasing statutory minimum wage. Okay.
Sorry.
Minimum wage na lang.
Oh,
dapat.
minimum wage. Individuals whose income do not exceed the minimum
minimum
wage.
wage.
Ganun na lang, no? And, okay. So, how do you become eligible? Yun ang tanong ko, Kong Jude, Kong Franz. Kailangan ho ba silang dumaan kay Congressman Jude, kay Congresswoman Franz, kay Mayor ganito, bago po makatanggap nito?
Sa totoo po, hindi.
Kong Jude, go ahead. Sige, kayo po.
Sorry. Sa totoo po, Miss Pinky, hindi ho. Pwede ho silang dumirekta sa DSWD para po sa mga pangangailangan nila under the Akap program.
The question is, pwede o saan ho ba talaga?
Sa DSWD, pwede.
Sa DSWD. Because I
Pwede sila
read,
dumiretso.
I read something about a GL, yung pong guarantee letter. May ganun po eh.
Iba po yun. Iba po yun. Iba pong programa yun.
Oh, okay. All right. Kong Franz?
Yung guarantee letter sa mga medical assistance na binibigay, ini-endorse ng kongresista sa DOH. So, yun yung guarantee letter. So, etong, sa experience ko, halimbawa yung AIX, pag may mga nangailangan, so ini-endorse din ini-endorse namin sa magkakaroon ng payout. So, depende doon sa evaluation ng DSWD. Tapos, pag tupad naman, so unfortunately, dole ito, pero kami rin yung
I see. Kayo din ang
So,
nag-GL.
hindi siya GL. Parang, ako sa experience ko, ini-endorse ko to sa barangay. So, ang barangay ang pumipili kung sino yung may pangangailangan doon sa AIX. So, ganun yung ginagawa natin. Etong Akap, wala akong experience kasi hindi namin in-avail ito. Pero kung ang concept nito ay para dun sa kapos ang kita, hindi naman kami opposed dito. Kasi marami talaga tayo mga kababayan na kahit na naka-minimum wage siya, ay considered na kapos at
Pero,
hindi kaya yung
but that's it.
sweldo.
Ilan ho bang milyong Pilipino ang kapos ang kita?
Yes,
So, Kong Jude, this year, I think this was able to cover, this 26.7 billion was able to cover about 4 million Filipinos. Would that be accurate, sir?
More or less, yes po.
So, asan ho yung database that says 4 million people are eligible or deserve to have or be part of Akap? San ho yung data na yan?
There is data from DSWD. Kasi sa DSWD, meron silang data with the listahanan and yun po yung mga below, talaga yung mga below minimum wage, yung unemployed, ganun po. Pero meron po yan silang data rin dun sa near poor. I'm sure hindi pa ho ganun kakompleto, but at least basis of qualification, that particular segment has been identified na po.
So we're not sure about the database. Basically, what you're saying is coming from the DSWD